Good morning. Okay, good morning, and welcome to Mystical Teachings from the Tanya. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kedeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We welcome this morning as we welcome every morning. We have Batya with us, and Marcy, Andra, Adi, Noe, Mayor, Jeff, Audrey, Rachel, Sina. Welcome. TJ is with us from Australia. Good evening. Diane from London, Ontario. Good morning. Irma from St. Martin. Good morning to you. Michael, good afternoon to you in Germany. Tony is with us in Costa Rica. Shalom. Robert in Boston. Boston, welcome. John in North Carolina. Good morning. And Anir from, I don't remember, is it Florida? Erica from Norway, shalom. Tim in Texas, Boker Tov. Eugenia is with us in Calgary. Good morning. Anna, good afternoon to you in Budapest. Davida and Leva in New York, welcome. Clem in Brisbane, welcome. Right before going to sleep. And Deborah is with us in Kitchener. Brittany in Michigan. Demetrio, good morning. Una, welcome. Rena in Colorado. Boker Tov. And Elaine is with us in Georgia. Tony in Florida. Demetrio is from Brazil. Welcome, Estella. Blessings. Oops. Nothing there. Okay. Joey in Florida. Linda, hello. Rona, welcome. And, my mother is on. Oh, welcome, Mommy. My mother. Michael in Ontario. And JMB Judaica in Florida. Look at that. Suzanne in Miami. Mark in Santa Rosa. And okay. What's going on Instagram over here? Not certain. Let's try that again. Give me one moment, folks. Okay. So we're in the 51st chapter. We are discussing, trying to understand, what does it mean, the Shekhinah, the divine presence of God, that is found in the Holy of Holies? Isn't God everywhere? So how would we understand and appreciate that? So how do we understand that? Is actually by understanding ourselves. Mipsari echse elaka, Job said. From my own flesh, from the own workings of my soul within my body, I can know God. So we need to understand ourselves and how we're made up. So there are three components of our soul. We discussed yesterday. We go into a little more depth today. It's actually an extremely short class today. There's the essence of the soul, and the revelation of the soul, and the functionality of the soul. Essence, revelation, the main place of its revealed abode, and then there's the functionality of the soul. Now, let's understand that before we get into the soul itself. Let's understand that in living life. There's the essence of the person. There's where they become first and most powerfully revealed. And then there is the things they do. So the essence of the person. So I'm going to use me as the example. The essence of me. And ask yourself, what's the essence of you? So the essence of me is that I'm a Jew. You might say the essence of me might be, I'm 90 something percent water. Right? Well, that's not essence. It's only 90% or whatever the amount is. I don't remember exactly. That's not the essence then, because the essence is everywhere and everything. However, it's not something that's defined. It's not defined by a limited definition or adjectives to describe. The moment you describe something, that's already a revelation of it or its functionality, but it's not the essence. So me being a Jew, meaning having a Jewish soul, is in every fiber of my being. It's not, it's not like I have a Jewish, like people say, sometimes I ask people, come, let's do a mitzvah today, together. Let's put on tefillin. And they say that, yeah, but I'm a Jew in my heart, not on my arm, because that's why I don't want to put on tefillin, or on my head. So, so the joke is, of course, if you put so much pressure just on your heart, that could be very fatal. Be a Jew because you are a Jew in every fiber of your being, because it's the essence of who you are. Right? For a human being that's not Jewish, so maybe their humanness or the soul that God gives them, that's in the image of God, that is the essence of who they are. Anyways, I'm going to get back to me. So the essence of me is I'm a Jew, but that's not something that's somewhere an adjective that I can give a description to it. I have a Jewish soul. It's part of God. Period. Any kind of description is no longer the essence of who I am. That's already a revelation, how I reveal that. And then there's how I act, or the things I do based on that. But that's essence. Then there's a functionality of who I am, the things that I do, the things you eat, you study Tanya, you do different things, right? That's the functionality of the individual. You eat, you sleep, you go to work, you do different things. Then there is the in between that, the revelation of the essence in its first form of being revealed. So for me being a Jew, well, let's put it on a daily basis in a sense. I'm just giving that is me saying Maidani in the morning when I wake up and thanking God. It's an essential prayer that's from the essence of me to the essence of God. But it's expressive. It's already an expression, right, of my Jewishness. It's not the essence anymore. I mean, it's an essential expression, but it's an expression, revelation. Now, I want to get back to this idea of essence, because since essence is not something we can readily perceive, because again, it's not revealed, it's the core of something before it becomes revealed. It's hard to appreciate it. It's hard to, have an affinity towards it. Most people, what they have an affinity towards is their functionality, because that's what I do. So most people, they define themselves, oh, what I do, that's who I am. No, it's not who you are. It's not. There's the essence of who you are. And actually, it's the opposite. What you do should be a reflection of who you are. Of who you are in essence. Not in your first revelation. Right? Who you are in essence. So if you consider yourself to be a human being, so that means that's the essence of who you are. So that means your functionality should be in everything you do. You should have a humanness to it. I consider myself to be a Jew in essence. Yeah, I hope to be human too. But in essence, I'm a Jew. And therefore, my functionality needs to express my essence of being a Jew. So if I eat like a Jew. If I sleep like a Jew. If I work like a Jew, and so on and so forth. Now, there's an in-between stage over there that's between the functionality and the essence, and that is, again, the first revelation of the essence of who you are. So on a daily basis, I said I would express that in the Maida'ani, in the thanksgiving that I give to God, that I have my soul, that God has restored my soul to me, and so on. In the human component of the essence of my Jewish soul would be reflected in the conscious mind of the awareness of that. And therefore the awareness that brings me to the Maidani, which you could say is even a functionality based on the stage before that of awareness of self. Right? That's not essence anymore because that's already some kind of revelation to me, of being aware. So those are the three dimensions within me. Okay. Now let's put that into other terms of soul. So there's the essence of soul, which again is nondescript. It's found everywhere equally in the toenail to the brain, because it's not a functional aspect. It's not a revealed qualitative aspect of the soul. It's the essence of the soul. It's not going to be any distinction. Now imagine the toenail and your brain. I mean, in functionality, there's a big difference. In value, great difference. But not vis-a-vis the essence of the soul. No. But just, yeah. So then, where does the soul have its first undiluted, full form of being revealed from the essence to revelation? Is in the brain. And in the brain, that's why there is awareness. That's why there's no awareness in any other limb of the body, because the soul is not its main primary abode where it is revealed in its fullest form is there. By the way, in our brain, our soul being revealed, how much functionality do we have from it? What Einstein had 6%, 8% or something like that. Most of us have, maybe 3-4%. So imagine how much more there is to be revealed, to be aware of the essence of the soul as it would reveal in our brain. Now, from there, the brain, in its functionality, it now takes it's the hub of life force. Right? There's the essence life force of the soul. There is now the first revelation of the life force of the soul that is in the brain. In that, it includes in it all of the limbs of the body. So there's an aspect of every limb of the body the way it is found within the brain. Hence the brain, therefore, is incomplete in that manner. From there, it flows and as a glimmer, a ray of light into the particular limb of the body and gives it vitality, specific vitality that the eye to see, the ear to hear, the hand to be able to extend, and so on and so forth. That power that we have of the eye to see and the ear to hear is really found in a abstract manner within the brain itself. And that's why it's able to give the vitality specifically to the particular limbs of the body, to give it its unique functionality. So what do we have? We have the functionality that flows from the brain, which has the mainstay of the revelation, the power of vitality, of life in the brain. That could be likened to the sun. And from the sun, you have rays of the sun. Now, the difficulty with this metaphor is that, one ray versus another ray there really isn't much of a distinction, right? So the functionality is pretty equal. So it's not a very good metaphor. But the ray meaning that it's only a glimmer from the soul, the way it is in the brain, which is not the essence, right? But it's where it's revealed in its primary abode, is now a glimmer of that soul is vested into different limbs of the body, giving it its unique functionality. The main part that we want to appreciate, interesting, even the heart, the Alter Rebbe says, which is a central organ, right? Which other organs receive vitality from, right? As the heart diffuses, to all organs, right? It though receives its own vitality from the brain. And here he says an interesting thing, based on this idea, right, of this very, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of truth of the soul and how it operates within the body. As a result, that the heart gets its vitality from the brain. That's why the brain has by nature dominion over the heart. Now, by nature, meaning that most of us function and do the things that our heart tells us. But in reality, it's the other way around. The heart's not feeding the brain in the sense of functionality or giving it vitality. The vitality of the heart is coming from the brain. The vitality of the organs of the body, they do receive from the heart, right? The blood that's pumped through. But all of that is regulated by the nervous system that is coming from the brain. So what comes out of this is, by nature, and this is something we learned in chapter 12 earlier, every human being has the capacity, if they so choose to, right, that your heart could be dictated, follow the mind, the brain, what it tells it that it should do. So you might be very hungry right now, and your heart's telling you, your heart is telling you, I've got to eat. You may be desiring, you may be having some anxiety right now because of some issues that you're going to face today. So that's coming from your heart. Your mind has dominion over that, if you so choose to. Why? Because again, the brain is the primary domain of the soul where it's revealed, not the essence, right? And therefore it gives vitality to the heart, meaning not only does it give it literal vitality, but it controls. And we can have mastery over ourselves, that if we're experiencing anxiety right now, or at any time today, or any other issue that we are dealing with, that our heart is laden with, based on what we just learned over here, we can have mastery over it. You got to choose that, of course. It's not, something that's going to happen by itself. That is today's lesson. I made it longer. It's very brief, actually. I know now that. Please share with me any questions. Remember, on Facebook, folks, and on Instagram, if you have a question, put 2 question marks first, so I know that it's a question, and that way I will be able to answer it. Irma says, I know now that 3 dimensions within me are essence, revelation, and functionality of the soul. The essence is everywhere, everywhere and everything, and is not defined. So I cannot give it a description of it. The revelation of the essence, who I am, must be reflective of the conscious mind in the brain. My functionality needs to express my essence. Very good, excellent. David, I know now that we need to take the physical action by doing the mitzvah to reveal who I am as a Jew, rather than just the inner feeling of who we are. Very good, thank you. David, please share with us.
Hi, Shalom, Boker Tov. Good morning.
Good morning and Boker Tov.
Quick question. Is that the official Chabad club on Clubhouse?
This is the official, I don't know what's official. This is a Tanya class that we do daily on Clubhouse. And we do it not just on Clubhouse, we also do it on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you. I will definitely follow. Thank you. I am sorry for disturbing that. Thank you.
You're not disturbing at all. Not at all. Thank you for sharing. Yes, we're on daily at 9:30, Monday through Friday, Sundays at 10:30. Yeah, Jeff, please share.
I just wanted to, thank you, Rabbi, as usual. Wonderful to hear you. I just want to say how amazing this is concept, this is mystical, but how amazing in a practical and real sense that this is written in the 18th century, and how our way of understanding our mind and our heart and our soul is only truer now. I mean, the idea of the brain controlling the heart and so on. There is so much going on now about meditation and breathing and this and that to calm your heart and so on. And it's just every time I think about how wise this is, it's just terrific.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you for sharing that. It's something that I mention from time to time. And thank you for saying that. Imagine, some truth stands the test of time. There's many theories that, come and go. And, today you can get a lot of self-help books on how to deal with different things and issues in our lives. And, there's always a new one and a better one and bringing out a different angle and so on and so forth. But the Tanya stood the test of time over 200 years. It's actually being learned by more people today than when it originally came out. And as you say, the more we understand from in psychology, and we understand natural sciences, the more that these teachings are coming out and expressing the truth that is eternal ultimately. And how lucky we are that the Alter Rebbe shared this with us. Thank you for that. Very nice. How does this apply, Liba's asking me, when the brain, God forbid, is physically impaired or damaged? Very good question. So first of all, remember, before the revelation of the soul in the mind, in the brain, right? There's already a soul in the essence of the soul in the person. So as long as the person's alive, the essence of the soul is existing, and perhaps there's a damage or it's being inhibited, the full revelation of the soul in the brain. But as we mentioned, the truth be said, how much of the soul is being revealed in the brain? How much are we getting functionality of our brain? Well, again, I think Einstein, they said they had 6% or 8%. I don't remember exactly, and we use much less. So, in that sense, we're probably all damaged, or not completely revealed the soul within us. That's actually, by the way, and we just started last night, a shameless plug, but for those who missed it, it was phenomenal class on Mashiach. It's you need to sign up for it, and if you're still interested, you can get the link, and for the rest of the course, join. It's only on Zoom, on a private Zoom station, and with that we can understand that when Mashiach will come, how the essence of the soul could be revealed within the brain, and what kind of experience we will have in our lives, and what we will be able to be aware of and perceiving. I'm not going to give more than that. You're going to have to come for the course for that, for more on that. But that's very powerful. So I hope I explained it. Clem has a question. I know now. Okay, I know it's a question. It's a statement. I know now that your lectures are crystal clear to understand. All right. Glad to hear that. That's beautiful. Am I missing something here? Davida, let me know if I missed something. Batya, let me know if I missed something. If someone else has something to share with us.
I do.
Go ahead, Vilma, please.
So my son and I have been talking about this subject of Moshiach and the soul and things of that nature. According to what you said, what you do, of course, is not what you are. This is counterintuitive. Most people think they are their jobs. Most people think they are lawyers, they are firemen, but that's not who they are. That's
Right.
what they do.
Right.
They're human beings, first and foremost, created in the image of God, and then whatever else, Jewish affiliation, whatever it is they are. So if people think about it that way, they're much more than what they do. And so what you said, that we should be a reflection of who we are in essence, is the most powerful thing that people can do in every day of their lives, is express that, express their essence in everything that they do.
Right. Yep.
So the soul that has an essence that is, revealed and has functionality in the body, you spoke about that most of us have a 3 to 4% conscious awareness. Is that what you meant?
The usage of the brain. The usage of the brain is something like 3-4%, if I remember those numbers correctly.
Because I read that too. It's been stated in the Zohar as well, that you can awaken the rest of the 96 whatever percent of the brain, but that's really hard to do. And the interesting thing that you said is that in Moshiach times the brain will be activated, but that presumes that people will be in their bodies as we are now. Because this soul, if it's not in a body, has that awareness.
Right.
Has the full awareness.
Yes.
Because we have a filter of the body and the brain cannot, see everything and know everything as the soul does, we are not aware of reality as it really truly is. It's a perception that's filtered through our minds, and everybody perceives it differently.
Exactly. That's why that's why through the Torah we can be able to have a perception that is from God's perspective, And that's what the Alter Rebbe is giving us in the teachings, is that we can have a perspective that is not from the human condition, but is from God's perspective, so we can see the world very differently than we are filtered only through our brain. Now, in the end, we need to understand, and we become aware of it, and so on. Absolutely, but we're given the capability of perceiving something greater than what we would naturally perceive, and that's what the Alter Rebbe sharing this with us has given us that capability, which is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay.
This particular Tanya portion was one of the best.
Thank you. Vilma, you mentioned, so again, I just want to reiterate the way I perceive my essence is not as an affiliation of being Jewish. Being Jewish is a Jewish soul. Is a Jewish soul. I don't. It's not because I buy into the dogma that's why I'm Jewish. It's because I have a Jewish soul. That's what makes me Jewish. So
right. I just think people don't understand that who are not Jewish. It's not
right. No, I get that.
Common.
Totally. That's why I wanted to clarify the point that you made. Most faith and religion is about buying in or believing in a particular set of rules or dogma, belief system, and so on, and that's what makes you, that a member of that particular faith group, that particular religion. But by Judaism, it's unique, and it's the only one like that it is not based on belief system. I mean, there is a belief system, but your Jewishness is not because you accept it. It's because you have a Jewish soul, and that's what makes you Jewish. I've told this before. If you will, go to the synagogue on Yom Kippur and you'll speak to the Jews that are there, or maybe in any other time, and ask them, are you, do you keep kosher? And they'll say, no, trichinosis, we don't have to worry about it anymore. We have refrigeration. That's archaic. Do you, you keep the Sabbath holy? That's the weekend. There's things to do, places to see, people to see. I can't be shackled. And he said, well, you're in shul here. Do you believe in God? Believe in God? I don't know. Sometimes, Mondays and Thursdays, yeah. But today, I'm not so clear. So then you'll say to that person, you're not Jewish because you don't even believe in the basics and are committed to the basics. And what that person's probably going to do is slap you across the face and say, I'm as Jewish as you are. Now, how are they as Jewish as you are if they don't even necessarily believe in God? You know why? Because what makes you Jewish is your Jewish soul. That's what makes you Jewish. It's not your beliefs that make you Jewish. So now, based on that, if that's the essence and the core of who you are, that you are Jewish, so you might as well be true to it in your functionality and everything that you do in your life, to be true to it. But that is something unique, absolutely, to the Jewish people.
Yeah, question, Rabbi?
Yes.
Is our Jewish soul that we were born with would be the same Jewish soul we are passing with, or is this something that evolves over time?
Well, a soul evolves, but not the essence of the soul. The essence of the soul is the essence of the soul. So the essence of a Jewish soul you have and you're born with. Or, by the way, someone who converts to Judaism, and they convert according to Jewish law, according to halacha, properly, they have a Jewish soul just like I have a Jewish soul. Because a Jewish soul is something that's given, on high, and that person has equally the same essence Jewish soul. So it doesn't. It evolves in its revelation and how much you reveal it, right? In other words, we have an animal soul that has a very different agenda than the Jewish soul, and it just wants to be self-directed and be a pleasure-seeking, individual that just is enjoying life. And the Jewish soul wants to, to connect, to do what God needs from it, and to fulfill its purpose here on earth. So revealing the soul is the quest or our journey, but the essence of the soul, that doesn't change. That doesn't increase or add or in any way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I reflected on my own journey. I grew up in an Orthodox home, and I have a set of rules that allow me to connect with Hashem, and then I changed some of those rules, but I kept engaged and truly connected to Elohim in my own ways, and I have a really amazing conversation with, unfortunately, Zichrono Livracha, Reb Levi here in Tyson's Corner, Levi Deutsch, who amazing family.
Yes. In
and
Virginia.
Yeah, correct. Yes, and he was a very, very close friend. We used to see each other a lot, and we talk about that. So I think I carry the soul that you're talking about, but based on the traditional way of thinking, do I live Jewish life in my heart, in my soul? Very much so. In practicing, I don't. So that's why I ask you. Thank you for the answer. It makes sense to me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're all works in progress, so I think that's the most important thing.
I don't know which way my progress is going, though.
Well, the progress should be in the Jewish way. That's all.
Well, his brother is still coming to my office less during COVID, and we meet here. We do l'chaim, put tefillin, and we talk. So. All
right, beautiful. Let me, Darren on Facebook, is it our obligation to be aware of what is happening in our society? Is it an obligation? I don't know if it's an obligation to be aware. Like, what does that mean exactly? An obligation? Sometimes it's better not to be aware of some of the crazy things that go around. But it's probably good because you can then use that in a way to fulfill what your mission is. So we need to be aware of the world around us in as much as it helps us to fulfill what our purpose is. So in that respect, yes. Now that's not a very clear answer necessarily, but it might. Hopefully, it's a guiding answer. It's not a specific answer to something specific that you are asking, but I think it's the way we should guide ourselves. I should be aware of the world around me in as much as it will help me to fulfill what God created me for. So, do I need to know about, all of the crazy things that are happening or just whatever? It's interesting that there's, we had recently in the Torah portion, don't be a gossiper. Gossiper meaning that you're just peddling information. Don't be a peddler of information. And and when someone's peddling information, just, now that well, if it's something that so the question you need to ask yourself, why do I need to know that? And if I don't need to know that, and it's just to have information being peddled, then if it's not enhancing what I was created for, so it's not necessarily something I need, right? I have to excuse myself because I have an appointment. I love to continue the conversation. We will continue actually the conversation tomorrow, 9:30. So please come and join us tomorrow. We will continue this afternoon at 12:45 on Jewish ethics. Pirkei Avot, so you can join us then. So we will continue. I'm looking forward. Continue conversation. All right.
Beautiful. Thank you for the discussion. It was wonderfully illuminating.
Thank you, Vilma. Thank you, Batya.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and to be continued tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.